It's a unique initiative. It's a very decisive initiative for different central banks to join forces in joint ventures with the BIS to
make sure we stay in the middle of all transactions.
Establish innovation centers around the world. Obviously, this is to benefit all the central banking community.
Wait, what about benefiting the citizens?
It has three objectives. It's one to scope, and that's the reason why we have it diversified geographically. Technology developments around the world, try to digest what those technologies are and in what way can they affect central banking and financial markets.
Oh, it's going to affect you guys pretty good.
Second, to develop prototypes, ideas, research that more than anything can produce public goods for the central banking community. I mean, here the point is we don't want each
public goods for central banking community.
Central banks to invent the hot water, you know. The idea here is to join forces and for all the community to benefit from those developments. And also we want to develop a network of experts. Central bankers do not have necessarily all the experts. We don't have probably all the capacity to bring together experts like big techs and so on and so forth. But if we join forces, we will be able to fare much better. So I think that we are doing this quite successfully. Again, we will be having 8 centers by the end of this year, and that will put the BIS, I would say, is leading this effort towards developing technology for central bankers. Now, CBDC, my own, I think probably where I have been more critical, if the term critical applies, is I try to reinforce the idea that today's fiat money works because there is a strong institution like a central bank that provides trust to money, and that's what makes money work in the world.
Yeah, it's the trust that we have in central banking that makes it work.
And many private developments trying to substitute other types of currencies and not use a central bank currency ignore many of the elements, many of the fundamental aspects that central bank bring to payments and to.
Yeah, you're ignoring the central banks, and you can't do that.
Financial systems, among them the finality of payments. So the only one who can bring that to the table in a forceful way is the central bank.
Yeah, the finality of payments for sure. It's the only way you can do it is through central banking, and that's why there's a 6% failure rate with the SWIFT system. And okay.
Central banks, and given that we have the technological capacity to do it, I think that the best possible solution is for central banks to put on the table central bank digital currencies. That doesn't mean that there is no space for collaboration with the private sector. As a matter of fact, for me, a preferable scheme is a tier system where the central banks provide the basic currency, but then the private sector can build on that. I'll stop here.
Right. So you can use their technology. Yeah, got it.
And ask what you're doing in this respect, because you're currently in a very interesting position, Chairman Powell. You know, on the one hand, you have some politicians in the U.S. warning that if the U.S. does not accelerate its activities in this area, you're going to see China and others create digital currencies, which could threaten the dollar. You're seeing people like Gary Cohn, formerly of the White House, warning that the U.S. is lagging behind in financial innovation. And yet, at the same time, you have a lot of the establishment looking with great nervousness about what's happening in Silicon Valley and saying we cannot let things like Bitcoin go completely spiral out of control. So how is the Fed trying to square the circle? And what exactly are you doing in Boston with MIT right now in relation to the CBDC discussions and developments?
Thank you, Jillian. In that question, there are several questions in that question, so let me try to go through this. First, I want to say, applaud really Augustine for making technology and innovation a central focus of his leadership of the BIS, including the Innovation Hub and the other things that he mentioned. I think that was a very wise and insightful direction, and I think it's already providing.
Dodged a huge bullet by getting that hub up and running quickly in less than a year. And there's 8 spots coming globally. Great move to stay in the middle of all this.
Significant benefits. I would also say, as far as CBDCs are concerned, 2 things follow for me from the dollar status as the world's principal reserve currency. The first is that we have an obligation to be on the cutting edge of understanding the technological challenges as well as the potential costs and benefits of issuing a CBDC. And we are, as I'm happy to share with you, exploring all of this. We're not in a mode of trying to make a decision at this point. We are experimenting with technology, discussing policy, and all of the things that have been discussed by both Augustine and Jens. But the second thing,
we are panicking and trying to figure out the best way to squash this new digital economy, yet use it to our advantage.
Is because we're the world's principal reserve currency, we don't need to rush this project, and we don't need to be first to market. A dollar CBDC would have potentially large implications here and around the world, and we'll be sure to think carefully about all of that and engage very broadly with the public around the world, and particularly here in the United States, before we even approach a decision. So let me come to the United States and how we're actually thinking about this. So if I can just provide a little context. Today, the public can own central bank money in the form of currency, and financial institutions can own central bank money in the form of reserves, which are digital. Banks offer digital money in the form of bank deposits, and although they're obligations of commercial banks and not of the central bank or the government, they're backed by the federal deposit insurance up to $250,000, giving them characteristics of trusted money. So that's the world we're in. It's also
we trust it. 1.9 just printed and another 3 trillion coming. It's about 2 or 3 trillion every quarter so far in the last year or so. So that works out, we trust you.
A world in which there's tremendous innovation in the payments area. We're going to have ubiquitous instant payments very soon. People will be able to make a payment immediately in immediately available funds rather than waiting hours, days to clear. And these improvements are being driven by both private and public sector actors. So we want to foster that innovation, but we want to assure through regulation that the public is protected. So does the public want, the real threshold question for us is, does the public want or need a new digital form of central bank money to complement what is already a highly efficient, reliable, and innovative payments arena and system? What exactly is the need here? How can we address it? What are the costs and benefits of adding a CBDC to the mix at this time? So the potential benefits could be more efficient, more inclusive payment system, and consistent with our essential ongoing role as the issuer of the trusted currency, the sovereign anchor, which provides so much benefit. And I think we all agree on that.
Oh, yes, the sovereign anchor. Yep, absolutely.
There's significant risks as well. There's the cyber risk, there's money laundering and terrorist financing. In addition, the financial...
Which doesn't get done with cash. I mean, typically the system now, you don't really have as much of a risk there.
Stability risks that Jens mentioned. We don't want to destabilize the two-tiered system. We're sort of purveyors of stability, macroeconomic stability, price stability, financial stability. We have a two-tier system, central banks.
We're stable. Everything's stable right now. So, you don't want to rock that boat. We got the stability thing going on. So, I get that.
Interface with banks interface with the public, and we do not want to destabilize that. And therefore, we don't want to compete with banks for funding. We also, in a time of severe...
We don't want to put the banks out of business because they're basically obsolete due to technology. We got to keep them in the middle so that they can keep us funded.
Stress don't want to create the basis for a run. And so there's just a tremendous amount of thinking going on.
Right. You go digital, see your run. Now we're risking a faster run on the bank. Tricky stuff.
On how we can capture the potential benefits while also managing those potential risks. And in the BIS work that we've done with other central banks, we identified 3 principles, the first of which is do no harm, the second of which is coexistence of a central bank digital.
Do no harm. Do no harm. Oh, well, they check the box on that one.
Currency with commercial bank money and cash, and the third of which is fostering innovation and efficiency. So now you ask about what we're actually doing, and I'll wrap this up in a second, but what we're doing is a broad program of experimentation and investigation about whether to issue a CBDC, and if so, how would we resolve the many design choices to be made in light of those potential benefits and risks.
We're slowing everything down before it gets out of control.
So we're collaborating with other central banks at the BIS and elsewhere. We've also we've got at the board here what we call the Tech Lab. That's a multidisciplinary, it's a virtual group across more than half of the reserve banks have active work, way more than half on central bank digital currency. I won't try to name them because I'll leave somebody out. If I do that, that would be a mistake. Doing various things. You ask about Boston. So we're collaborating with MIT on a multi-year effort to build a hypothetical digital currency for central bank use. It's intended to support our broader efforts, obviously. So the focus really, though, is on developing an understanding of the capabilities and limitations of the relevant technologies. It's not an attempt to create a prototype. In effect, they're saying, let's try to build the basis for a central and see what we learn for a CBDC. Move with great care and transparency in considering a CBDC, as is our obligation, and we're doing that now.
So just as a matter of curiosity, and I'd like to ask this question to Jens Wiedemann as well, one of the things that came out of the BIS's survey, which is fascinating, is it's not clear whether it's even legal in many jurisdictions. I think half of the central bank survey said they weren't sure. Is it legal to create this kind of thing at the moment in either the US or Europe? Chairman Powell and then Jens Wiedemann?
You know, we would. That's a good question, and we would not proceed with this without support from Congress. And I think that would ideally come in the form of an authorizing law, rather than us trying to interpret our law to enable this. So I think that's how we would look at it.
What about the situation in Europe? Is it legal in Europe?
I think by the time we will proceed with, or if we proceed with the central bank digital currency, when we talk about modernizing,
or take all the ideas coming from Silicon Valley and transplant them into central banking, as I said, making central bankers cool. Jay, I'd like to ask you, Chairman Powell, sorry, I'm dealing with different forms of address and cultural expectations. I know in America, everyone uses titles. In Europe, they don't. So apologies if I cause offense to anyone watching by addressing you wrongly. But I'm curious, Chairman Powell, are you essentially trying to beat them at their own game? To what degree do you see things like Bitcoin or Libra representing financial stability threats that you're trying to get ahead of?
First, I spent 9 years here trying to get people to call me Jay, so please.
Okay, that's kind of being cool.
let me say, yeah, absolutely. Let me just take a step back and say that our work on CBDCs is not primarily motivated by the appearance on the scene of cryptocurrencies and stablecoins. It really is fundamentally.
Yes, it is.
Technology has made it possible for us to offer a new form of trusted money and that sovereign anchor that has been so important for economic development for a very long time. And we're looking carefully at whether to do that. So turning to your question, crypto assets, which we call them crypto assets, they're highly volatile, see Bitcoin, and therefore not really useful as a store of value, and they're not backed by anything. They're more of an asset for speculation. So they're also not particularly in use as a means of payment. It's more a speculative asset that's essentially a substitute for gold rather than for the dollar. And I think with crypto assets, the public needs to understand the risks. The principal thing is there's the volatility, There's also the outsized energy requirement for mining, and the fact that they're not backed by anything, which I mentioned. Turning to stable coins, so to the extent a stable coin is backed by sovereign currencies of leading nations, that's certainly an improvement over crypto assets, I would say. But nonetheless, where does the credibility come from? It comes from that sovereign currency that is the backstop. The thing is, existing sovereign currencies are issued with the benefit of the public in mind. The potentially fast and wide adoption of a global stablecoin, potentially a global currency governed only by the incentives of a private company, is something that will deserve and will receive the highest level of regulatory expectations. And may have a role to play with appropriate regulation, but that role will not be to form the basis of a new global monetary system. Private stablecoins are not going to be an appropriate substitute for a sound monetary system based in central bank money. And I'll stop there.
Right. Jens, how does it look?
Welcome back to the show. We got a good show today. We are going to review a new crash special coin called Dent. Kind of hot in the market these days. Interested to learn about that. Crash, how are you, man? What's going on?
Hey, how you doing, Eddie? I'm great, man. Nice to be on with you again. How's the audio sound? I'm gonna.
You're sounding good today, man. Are we gonna have less tech issues or possibly no tech issues today? That'd be crazy.
Silicon Valley's got good, really good network going here. Kind of high tech out here.
Nice, good stuff. So, what do we have going on today?
Well, all kinds of stuff. But first, we are not financial advisors, and we do this podcast for educational purposes and entertainment. And hit the comments. Let us know. Are we entertaining or aren't we?
That's right, people. You're getting a little more active. It's a little bit scary. We're starting to get a little bit of activity out there. So,
yeah, who were those people that were on there after the last show? It was like a coordinated attack on them.
I know. I had to come at them a little bit and give my opinion.
It's just a little echo. It's not that big a deal.
Right. So, anywho, we got Bitcoins at about, what is it, 55? Kind of just hovering around 55 these days.
Our very lovely consolidation.
Right. Gotta have it.
Yep. Perfect. I wouldn't want it any other way.
Theta has been absolutely on fire. It got up to, I think, high 13s. Now it's at 12.29. Yeah. Unbelievable.
I know. The way it's been running, I'm not buying it at this price.
It's up there.
I don't have any kind of exchanges I can buy it on. That's the problem.
Binance, I think, now.
I don't understand what that means.
Right.
And I don't use those guys.
Anyways, yeah, so other than that, I mean, so Dent comes in, it's broken the 100, right? It's in the top 100.
Oh yeah.
87.009. Crash is going a little bit lower, man. He's really stretching his wings these days.
Well, yeah, when I grabbed it, I think it was number 100, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You brought it up?
Been on fire.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Do
you remember that token? It was like, I think it might have been Denta, and it was like a crypto for dentists. Do you remember that? That was on the last run. It's like, why do dentists need their own crypto?
I don't know.
But this is not that.
No, this is not that. This is a cryptocurrency and what are they? It's a wireless service, and it's a data providing and trading service using the Ethereum blockchain.
So it is an ERC20?
Correct. And it, primarily, when it comes to wireless service, they are using Dent eliminates the need to switch out SIM cards when you go to different countries. And what's the big benefit?
This is their website now. I'm actually on their website.
Yeah, no contracts.
Oh, okay. And it's more global, right?
Oh, it's very, very global. Yeah. Yeah, they've got
so
50
you don't
countries
get
on.
basically that's one of the advantages. You don't get fees for roaming fees for if you go to another country.
Right.
That's why you're looking into it so much. This comes in handy for travelers such as yourself.
Yeah, and I think it's a great idea, and I think it's going to solve some problems for some people. But I think there's better technology, honestly. I think what Loki is doing is going to be far superior. But that's a privacy token that in a messaging system that is completely blockchain driven, and it will. They're working on voice operations as well, which will just basically bypass the wireless systems.
Yeah, I mean, you have WhatsApp and you have these other apps. The problem is they're the opposite of privacy. They're actually tracking apps.
Yeah, they're centralized. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, where Loki's coming in to do the exact same thing, all in the blockchain, complete privacy. And it's anonymous, it's private, it's fast,
Loki is the one that's session?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay, so back to Dent. So we got, so it looks like there's about 100 billion tokens.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly enough, most of them are outstanding. 92 billion, 0.7 are already out there. So that's that's why it's at a cent, but, the low is, 0.40 and a 7049.
So, it's been down.
It's been screaming lately.
No, I have Can you hear that?
No, you're pretty good. You cut out a little bit, but I don't hear any kind of an echo or anything on our end. But we'll see how it records. We'll see. It's not bad though for being on the other side of the world,
Other side of the country, anyway.
Well, you don't that. Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, I didn't.
No, I'm not in the same country you're in, so it's like. Anyways, anywho. All right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
What else about Dent do we know?
Well, I don't know. They started back in early or mid 2017, and
right.
There was a lot of excitement, and then 2000, the big pump in 2017-18. I mean, they went from virtually zero up to 10 cents or more,
right?
And just completely bottomed out again. And looking at the chart, I would think that they weren't even active or they weren't even in business for 2 years. And now all of a sudden they're taking off again. And I see a lot of videos on YouTube about them. The more I've dug into it, the less impressed I am. However, I've been wrong.
Thanks for bringing this winner to the table, Crash.
Yeah, I know. I was kind of excited about it at first, but let's look at some of the videos that we have on it and
all right,
see what
let's do that. Let's let the people make their own decision, right? We're about just exposing you guys to great info, right? So, and this has been on fire, and people have been talking about this one a lot. So
yeah, and we want to show you guys kind of some of the stuff we do to at least begin an analysis on a cryptocurrency to do our due diligence.
Yep, these aren't deep dives. These are intros. So okay, hold on. Let's get this video going here.
Okay.
So what is Dent? Well, Dent defines itself as mobile data simplified, as Dent is wireless and your new digital and global mobile operator. Now, what does that really mean? Well, Dent Coin is a new cryptocurrency that promises to distribute the mobile data industry. The company Dent Coin is called Dent Wireless Limited, and the company's goal is to liberate mobile data by allowing anyone to buy and sell and donate data through the Ethereum blockchain. So essentially, it is a mobile data company powered by crypto. The Dent Coin lies at the center of this market, and is the universal currency for the data markets. So what about the price of Dent? Well, Dent is sitting at 1 cent, and it has seen a 50% increase in the last 24 hours, which is pretty crazy, especially with the market cap doubling in a single day. It is certainly a token that has started to gain some traction. So it is currently sitting at a market cap of 949 million, with a circulating supply of 92.4 billion Dent. It is ranked 86 on CoinMarketCap and has just over 35,000 watches. If we look at the all-time charts, we can see that Dent started life at around about August of 2017, first trading at 0.1 cents. It stayed at this 0.1 cents mark all the way up until it pushed 10 cents on January 12th of 2018. So its all-time high is sitting at around about 10 cents. Since then, we've seen a huge drop in Dent. But however, we started to see it stagnate at around about the 1.1 cent mark. And if we notice, Dent has obviously hit these highs here, and then has started to take off a little bit here. Now, especially since we're in a bull market, I think this is a coin that is going to take off past its all-time highs and could push 10 cents. But if we also look at the volume, I just wanted to notice something quite significant. The volume here in 2018, it was a decent level, but here, even at this very, very small comparison to the price, it certainly has a lot more volume. Now, what about my personal predictions for Dent? Well, I think Dent is a coin that has utilization, and this is the very important thing in terms of what is going to happen next. But can Dent hit $1? Well, in order for Dent to hit $1, it would need a market cap of 92.4 billion, and that would put it at number 10 spot on the cryptocurrency list. If we look at some other cryptos that have market caps of similar prices, there isn't even, it would put it third right now. So it's not possible for Dent to hit $1 within the next 2 weeks. That market cap is just not reasonable for the short term. However, does that mean it's not going to happen long term? No, I think that eventually Dent will reach $1, but I think it's going to be in at least 1 to 2 years. Now, the market cap of Dent would have to double that of Binance Coin and Tether, and then almost triple Polkadot and Cardano's. So it's not going to happen, and unless the crypto market just takes off within the next couple of months, it's not going to happen.
What's going on?
I don't know.
Crash, are you there, man?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
All right.
What do you?
Did you lose audio on the video or not?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay, I did for.
Oh, did you? I thought I heard you fade out, but let's finish this real quick, or.
Go ahead.
Happen this year. So if we look at the charts, then I'm just going to give you my personal prediction for what is going to happen for Dent. So Dent is currently sitting at once.
All right, people.
I saw this part.
We really want to know his personal prediction. I don't even know who this guy is, but obviously he's reputable. Crypto Zan is his name.
Right.
And making Dent predictions is his game, apparently.
But he's not a financial advisor.
No, he's not a financial advisor. So let's move on with our review for a quick second here. Hold on. So here's one more short video. This is actually from the website, just to introduce you. Hold on here.
Say hello to Dent, the world's first digital and global mobile operator. Powered by eSIM technology, Dent utilizes digital SIM cards for eSIM-capable devices, keeping you connected in many countries all over the world while still retaining your local phone number and operator, even when you're abroad. Whether you need mobile data on the go or want to keep multiple devices connected, Dent makes sure you stay online everywhere without roaming fees or changing physical SIM cards. Dent. Mobile data simplified.
And a little bit deeper, because there were some questions that have come up about how
Just close it all.
Oh my God. Yeah, we're okay. Well, people, we were going to go through a show with no technical difficulties, and we decided in our pre-show prep that it probably wasn't a good idea. You guys actually like them.
Absolutely more entertaining to see us fumble around this stuff.
So, enough with that. Anyways.
So with Dent, I just think, it's an interesting project. I think there's probably, if they don't succeed or, they can't get a good grip on the mobile market and mobile data market, somebody else is going to pop up and is going to be able to solve whatever problems they can't do it. So if the mobile market, just like any other industry and any other sector, it's all going to change. Everything's going to change due to one type of blockchain technology or another, or one type of cryptocurrency project or another, or so this is just another one industry that has issues that need to be solved that are being worked on by the blockchain industry.
Right, and they're with they got some serious partnerships. They got the Ethereum Enterprise Alliance, that's huge. Samsung Blockchain, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
These other ones I haven't heard of too much, but they're somewhat Crash, doggone it, man. Really? Here's their CEO, Tero Katerjinen. And their co-founder is Mikko Linnanmäki. So
these guys, there are a lot of those are Scandinavian names, correct?
Yeah.
The Scandinavians are very, very strong in the mobile industry.
Yeah, that's true. Nokia, they got a lot of Ericsson. Yeah, they do. That's a good point.
Mm-hmm. So if they got to look like they have a pretty good team here. So I hope they're highly successful.
Yeah, they might make it. They might make it and be really successful, or just get bought, by one of the bigger players. So it's just. Yeah,
they'd be a good part of AT&T.
Right, they could be.
Mm-hmm.
So interesting. Okay. Well, you guys give us your questions and comments about Dent. Let us know what you think. You might know more than we do on this one. We're not too big into this, but Crash kind of discovered it and thought it would be good to take a peek. So we appreciate that. Okay, so that is Dent, people. And again, give us your comments. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. No financial advice. What do we got going on for the latest news, Crash?
Well, the banks are talking about cryptocurrency, and Deutsche Bank in particular.
Yeah.
So talking about a 750% increase in Bitcoin, and they're concerned. They're concerned. Their investment companies that are a part of these banks are They got to be shaking in their boots because the word is getting out that 20% annual return is terrible.
Right. Theta token rises 17,000% in a year. Cracks top 10. Or 20%. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. And that space, remember what that's based on? Doubling your money every 10 years. So a solid 10% a year.
Yeah.
There's NFTs are all over the news, man. We're going to talk more about that in our little chat, but they're all over the news. But with Deutsche Bank, did they say like why they're shaking or what they're?
Well, they just have little within their investment banks. There's little consensus between the lead people in their investment banks. It's like it's all over the board. There's people on the boards that are completely pro Bitcoin, and there's people on the boards that are completely anti Bitcoin. And so there's going to be a change of guard because I guarantee the people who are pro Bitcoin are going to be taking the lead positions.
Yeah. And you know what? They're going to be at some point, and they probably already are. They're saying, what else is there?
Mm-hmm.
What else is there? That's great to have Bitcoin, but the easy money was made on that. What else do we got cooking out there in crypto?
Right. And, some of my friends, that's what they do is they teach executives and board members how to use cryptocurrencies on a daily basis and teach them how to the language and how to talk about it in the boardroom so they don't sound misinformed.
Yeah, and that is getting more and more critical. You better at least know what you're talking about and at least be able to speak to it. And these guys, man, I mean, I see so many people that are lost now. So, yeah. Yeah, there's what else do we got here? Yeah, Bitcoin's just kind of consolidating, so you're seeing a lot of, you got the biggest news today was Elon Musk came out and said we're taking Bitcoin for cars and we're keeping it in Bitcoin, not moving it into cash. So
yeah, that was really interesting and illuminating.
Yeah, and now we got the Indian government going back. Now one of their big leaders is saying, Indians should be allowed to own crypto. So, I mean, they just can't. They want to ban it. The central banks want to ban crypto so bad, but they just can't do it. And I think mostly because it's too useful. They want to make themselves money on it.
Well, yeah, and they're just going to be completely bypassed if they don't embrace it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just a matter of how they're going to regulate it.
It's a question of their relevance.
Yep, people. That's why I played that that little Fed intro. It was a little bit longer than I wanted, but that was just a couple excerpts of the head of the BIS and Powell. And it's just, I mean, they are figuring out how do we stay in the middle of all transactions. How do we do it? And it's going to be done through CBDCs. Clearly, I mean, that's what they have to do.
That's what they're going to attempt to do.
Yeah, so they have to, and to do that, they have to regulate stable coins. So, all right, so let's get into NFTs a little bit. This is Crash. I mean, you were on the forefront of this, man. You're the NFT master. But this is an interesting article in Decrypt that just talks about the NFT craze. It's offering some hard questions. And these are people that are getting hacked off because people are like capturing tweets or capturing stuff that's really proprietary.
Yeah.
And then making an NFT and selling it. And so, again, here's another avenue for the lawyers to get rich. NFT stuff, but
very observant of you.
Yeah, so Yeah, so that's kind of what this article is about. It's just the NFT hype is getting quite out of control here. And hold on here.
Podcasts into
Okay, so yeah, it's gotten crazy. So yeah, you want to turn the show into an NFT somehow?
Well, I'm thinking, maybe the first Crash and Edy show when we were both on together, that could sell someday for, maybe 75 mil or something like that. And, if we don't turn it into a NFT ourselves, somebody else might.
It's crazy. I've heard, so for the first time I heard this week, a couple different people called NFTs a new asset class. That kind of piqued my interest. I mean, I get that cryptos are. I've been saying that for a while.
Cryptos are a new asset class, and NFTs could be a whole new class. You know what? That's not so far-fetched, if you ask me.
I think it's a subset. I don't think it's an asset class. I don't. But it's
definitely going to be a sector.
Yeah, I think it's a sector of the crypto asset class. I mean, they're still really they're smart contracts. It's basically media protected by a smart contract. That's the difference between a JPEG and an NFT is the smart contract, really. So I got my first NFT this week, actually, Crash. I'm not going to tell you where I got it given to me.
Really?
And I think it's worth about $156 in Ethereum. That's what I've heard. I don't know.
I know where you got that.
You do not know, man.
I do know. I know.
I opened up a wallet and voila, here's a free NFT. But anyways,
I'm a little jealous. You have the first NFT. Now I gotta go get one.
But I haven't made one yet. Who's gonna make the first one, Crash?
I know exactly what I want to make it of.
You do?
Yeah. It's a hilarious, 10-second video of my son, and he's laying on the floor. He's probably 4 years old, and I asked him. I said, "Aren't you going to say happy birthday to me?" And then I started recording, and it's him going, "Happy birthday." It's hilarious.
Get it out there, dude. That thing could be worth millions.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's, the people how I'm exposed to it, they are really doing some interesting things. I found a company that's doing vaults for NFTs now, storing them within, I'm getting into the gaming side of stuff a little bit. And they're looking at, vaults to store them and how do you move them around? How do you, there's marketplaces for them now. Like OpenSea we reviewed and stuff like that.
Yep.
But,
it's interesting. There's going to be a whole lot of problems that are going to be needing to be solved in the NFT world. That are going to create a lot of new opportunities, completely new opportunities that we can't even fathom at the moment.
Yeah. And I think, do the right thing. If you're knocking off someone else's art and their proprietary stuff that they did, and you're not giving them credit for it and stuff like that, I mean, you can expect problems. There's going to be problems with that. No one's going to want that. So NFT or no NFT, just do the right thing,
Yeah, it's very dishonorable.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you just do the right thing, stuff's going to fall pretty good. So, but it's not going away. I think, you're going to get hype. You're hearing a lot of people now, they paid huge amounts of money for some of these and now they want to sell it and there's no buyers and stuff, So You got to be careful because
yeah, there's it's going to be very, very volatile here, I think, for quite a while, because there's really there's not enough value in NFT sales and purchases to create a accurate value.
right, and that's always going to be the thing. I mean, if it's a hot NFT or something, it'll be worth something, but by definition, they're illiquid because there's not a lot of them,
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they'll do 5 or 10, but typically, they're illiquid. So yeah, you might be able to sell it for more, but to trade in them, I think it's kind of, I don't know, man.
Yeah. I don't know. I like this artwork that People does.
Yeah, it's interesting, right?
You pull some of that up.
People artwork?
Yeah. So, like in that NFT article, there's a link to People.
Is there? Okay, hold on a second.
Yeah, flip 2 and Bitcoin pouring out of it.
Okay, so this is one of them. This is an interesting one with the Mickey Mouse. See, now I wonder, did he have to? Is that?
Is it really Mickey Mouse?
Disney Plus content generation by Beeple. See, I bet him being smart, he went to Disney and they're going to get a cut or whatever. He handled it,
Yeah, keep going down further. There's another cool one. Oh, that's the same one. That's just blown up the whole picture.
Yeah, now they show the facial device and all that stuff. Got it.
Goodness gracious. Keep going. This is one I like.
Yeah, people do.
He does some cool stuff.
Yeah, he does.
Bull market and it's busting in half. And it looks like, I don't know what that guy's doing. He's worshiping it or ripping it in half and out come flying all his Bitcoin.
Yeah, that is an interesting piece.
Or gold or whatever that is.
Yeah. Huh.
Oh, then you go right that one there. It's really crazy.
This one?
Yeah. Yeah, that's supposed to be Trump in there. I forget the name of it.
Oh, this is the one that fetched 66,666 and 60 cents.
Yeah.
Holy cow, what a number. Huh. Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Disgusting stuff.
For art, yeah, there's some interesting stuff. That's the whole Nifty, or that's the whole NFT.
Yeah. So that one is particularly a video. Oh,
Oh my goodness. Anyways, so there is some stuff going on. So yeah. Anyways,
NFTs.
The NFT revolution plays on, people. So we're going to kind of see where all of it goes. And, we'll keep you guys advised as we can. And, Crash, you're on the road, right?
Yeah, doing some meetings and projects, yep.
Good deal. Well,
looking to get here the next week and be down in the Sun Belt, so that's good.
Good stuff, man.
R&R.
Nice. So, people, hit the like and subscribe. Drop us a comment. Share this everywhere. Make an NFT of it and put it on your forehead if you can. If you're willing to, we'd appreciate it greatly.
Yeah, and if you notice that our audio is better, please comment on that.
Yes, or give us a compliment on our better technology this show, because we think we worked hard to make it better. So we'll see if it actually is. But anyways, have a good one. Stay safe, and be good. Do the right thing.
Yeah, enjoy the day and live in the present.
Crass. We're gonna keep this sucker. That is pending that it recorded.
Yeah, did you even hit record the thing?
Hopefully
It looked to me like it wasn't even recording half the time.
Yeah, maybe it's not. I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
Let her rip.
Yeah.
So, anywho, well, good luck, man. Get on your NFT. I can't wait to see the first one that you produce.
Yeah. I've been swamped, dude. I had 4 new clients yesterday.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah, it's time consuming, but I need to start getting some help. I think start training some people because it's interrupting my routine.